get my 6. You guys ready to come out? Ready to come out and play, huh? All right, come on, sillies. Come on, sillies. Come on. Come on, everybody. Come on out, everybody. Quack, quack, quack. Come on, guys. Come on out, everybody. Come on out and play. Somebody's excited. Somebody's excited. Yeah, they're going after some grass now. They'll come back to that water later. So let's change your view a little bit so you can see the birds and the beautiful fall foliage behind us. So what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the most amazing homesteading channel on planet Earth that typically doesn't have anything whatsoever to do with homesteading off the grid. They're foraging in the garden. There's still some peas up there that are ripe and some okra and some tomatoes, and we've kind of let most of it go to seed, and that's proper nutrition for them. They love getting it. So listen, let me get right into it. I'm going to talk about something that I was talking about quite a bit about, I don't know, less than a year ago, close to a year ago though, this past winter. Actually took a special trip down into the beautiful sunny state of Florida, spent about 8 or 10 days in Key West to investigate this stuff. As I alluded to in a video here about a month or so ago, I was strongly encouraged to stop discussing it. And that's all I'm gonna say. However, we are all now, strangely, being strongly encouraged to report it if we see it. Let me get right to it. What I'm talking about is bird flu, okay? All right, they found out these guys love this water. Watch this. There they go. So, and FYI, some folks have asked in the comment section if our ducks are ever going to swim in our pond, because I can see our pond. It's literally like 35 yards away. They have, but we have to kind of force them and strongly encourage them to go into the pond. And by strongly encourage, what I mean is I have to like pick them up and throw them in. Now, once they're in there, they love it. And they'll swim around in the water, eat some of the aquatic plant roots. They love that. And then they'll sun on the bank after they've been in the water for about an hour all day. But the thing is, they just never want to go there naturally. I've spoiled them. I get the hose out to replace their water so they have fresh water a couple of times a day. And they just rather hang out right here and play in the water from the water hose. So that's what's going on. But listen, something that I was strongly encouraged not to discuss, and I'm not saying by exactly whom, about 8 months ago, because I was making videos about this daily, but too many people were watching them. The topic was becoming people were becoming too informed on the topic, okay? But now we're being encouraged to report it. Folks, I just got this within the last hour off of the Facebook page of the Virginia DWR. That's Division of Wildlife Resources, okay? I'm not even going to act like I don't need my glasses anymore at this point. I turn 52 next month. It's just, oh, wow, those birds really are beautiful, aren't they? You know, those ducks, those big white ones, they're only like 2.5 months old. The black ones are about 4 months old. The brown ones are about 2.5 months old. They're the same age as the white ones. What's up? Quack, 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 quack. They're so obnoxious. Where's all my chickens? Man, they're everywhere. All right. But this from the Virginia DWR. It's a press release. Just came out within the hour. The DWR is asking the public to report after an increase in suspected cases of avian influenza. Let me read you this. This is out of Richmond, Virginia, the capital city of Virginia. The Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources, DWR, has recently received reports of groups of dead black vultures across the state, including several counties in southwest Virginia. Preliminary testing indicates that the likely cause is H5N1, highly pathogenic avian influenza, HPAI. Although disease activity is currently centered in black vultures, with migration season beginning, it is likely there will be mortalities in other bird species as well. DWR asks that if you observe any of the following, please notify the department by calling the wildlife number, and they give the number, or emailing them. If you witness 5 or more dead vultures, waterfowl, shorebirds, or seabirds in the same area within 5 days, sick or dead eagles, hawks, owls, or turkeys, excluding ones found on the road, so not roadkill, 10 or more dead wild birds of any species in the same area within 5 days, okay? Interesting. Just a note on that, my beautiful bride Dearly, aka Giggly Girl, and I had a date today. We went to the gym late morning, worked out, went out to lunch, parked in a parking garage, and we're going down some stairs that were enclosed. And we saw 2 dead birds, and I thought, wow, a cat must have gotten those. But now that I think about it, and I hadn't seen this report yet, that was an enclosed staircase. There are doors, heavy doors that must be open to get in and out of this staircase at this parking garage. Cat can't open those doors. Interesting. All right. The report continues. The public is advised to avoid picking up or handling sick or dead wild birds. If you must dispose of a dead bird on your property, wear rubber gloves and other personal protective equipment such as a mask and eye protection. Dead birds should be buried or double bagged and disposed of in a secured outdoor trash can or landfill. After disposing of the carcass, wash hands thoroughly with soap and water, or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer and disinfect clothing and shoes. If you are frequently in contact with poultry, such as myself, including backyard flocks, such as these guys and girls, well, they're in front of me now. Man, they're gobbling up those roots. Check this out. Look at that. Oh, what, guys? That scare you? All right. There's my chickens back there. Where are my chickens? They're everywhere. We got 34 birds in our flock. We got 6 ducks, and the rest are chickens. All right. And if you're used to handling backyard flocks like this, you are encouraged to have separate clothing and shoes for use in the areas where you keep those birds. In addition, keep flocks away from vultures and ponds or similar bodies of water that are also accessible to wild waterfowl. I'm glad I saw this report because I've got to change my behaviors here since I have a backyard flock, like I said, 35 yards from my pond. Taking these precautions will help reduce the risk of spreading the virus. If you develop any flu-like symptoms after handling wild birds, fever, body aches, red or itchy eyes, etc., contact your state or local health department. Not so sure I would be doing that. Man, look at these pretty little birds over here. These are our youngest ones. These are 4. That beautiful one in the center is a rooster. Now, I forget what that is. But he lays, he won't lay any eggs. The female version of him lays green eggs. We've got one female, that's her. And then we got 2 others from that, got them at the same time, but they're different breeds. But we're keeping him to breed with those 4. Chickens are so fun. And that girl got jealous. Hey, little red hen, that's her name. She bakes a really good bread. Ba-dum-bum-ching. All right, so it's happening again. It's happening all over again. You'll remember last year we had quails, and when the drones were coming around and that mysterious fog that was coming with them, a storm came through that night and unalived 11 of our quail birds overnight. It was terrible. It was a catastrophe. And people were reporting dead birds, both wild and domestic, all over the place. The government, just before the current administration came in, was going around spraying the foam into thousands upon thousands of chickens. And I mean, if they had one bird test positive within an area, they would kill up to millions of birds. It was really an atrocity. And so I started doing some research, going around the country. We had a lot of reports coming in from Florida, particularly about the things in the sky that are behind the airplanes that they want us to think is exhaust. The jet trails, what do they call those? Put it in the comment section. I'm having a senior, well, I'm not a senior yet. I'm an elder. I'm having an elder moment. Yeah, those, man. So anyway, hi birdies. Look, these guys are trying to get up close and personal. They want me to pet them. Hi there, birdies. Hi, birdies. Sorry, it doesn't take just a squirrel to distract me. All right, so anyway, so what's the agenda? I think we're getting too close to it. It was, of course, about not just population control, but here's one for you. It's control of the population. I mean, it's the herding of the sheep. And listen, it's my humble opinion that they can be, you insert the they do not want us being self-sufficient. Period. They don't want us being able to take care of ourselves, to provide for ourselves. They want us to be completely dependent on them because then we're easier to control. We can look at the last thing that happened, and I've got to be careful with my words here, my verbiage. They said, hey, do this. Everybody did it. The masking thing, which they know didn't work. But at the time, they said do it. They could have said jump. We all would have said how high. A lot of us did those things, kind of like a go along to get along thing, knowing it was ridiculous, but hey, go along to get along. As you age, if you actually mature as you age, if you're paying attention to the things around you and you actually have some real world experiences, you obtain this thing called wisdom, and you learn what a lot of folks in these peaceful protests don't, is that, and there's nothing cowardly about it. You don't want to draw unnecessary attention to yourself because that might not end well. Okay, you might end up with, for example, alleged retired college professors who wear fancy slippers following you literally up and down the East Coast and strongly encouraging you to adjust your behavior when they actually confront you in the middle of a forest with no one else around. And let me tell you what, Professor Fancy Slippers, I'm this close to telling that story. You stay away from me. All right, now, with all this said, the wolves are trying to control the flock of sheep. And the best way to do it, the most appropriate way, is by controlling our food source. And this is how good they are at it, okay? We talk about this a lot, me and my family, and there's a lot of people who are not going to like what I'm about to say, but these are just the facts. We live out in the country, we have 6 acres, and we go to the grocery store. My wife, bless her heart, and I don't say that in the Southern way, which means F you, bless her beautiful little heart, she likes Costco. I can't stand Costco's. Too many Karens in there, too many yuppies. I wait in the parking lot. Or I'll go in and I'll get a $1.50 hot dog and a $1.99 hot fudge sundae and sit there at the checkout and binge eat and wait for her to come through the checkout, and then I get out there as quickly as I can with her. But we also very much can take care and provide for ourselves. If there were to be a dome come down, like in the Stephen King novel, which was a movie or a series, The Dome, and we couldn't leave this property for the next 5 years or forever, we would make it. We do harvest some of the wild game on this property for consumption. My buddy Heath from Heath's House, please like and subscribe to his channel. He's been a little dormant with content creation the last couple of months because he's been busy doing other things, but he's trying to get back into it. He came to Dearly's birthday party this weekend and smoked an entire deer rump, like the entire butt, and he had injected it the night before with butter and beer, soaked it in a brine that day, then slow smoked it for a few hours. Oh my gosh. Have a buddy. Shout out to my buddy Mike. He said he'd never eat venison again. His father used to hunt many years ago. Mike's in his 70s. Said he hated it. He's not anti-hunting, but he's not fond of it. He's definitely not anti-2A, but he does believe that it should be controlled more. He's a very emotionally intelligent gentleman. politically, we're polar opposites, but because we're both emotionally intelligent and realize that there's 95% other of things in life that we do have in common, we're best of friends. So we can discuss these things and not hate each other and ostracize each other because we don't agree on them, because we don't have the minds of children. But I told Mike, you've just never had it cooked the right way. So Mike was at the party. I took some of Heath's venison up to Mike. I said, Mike, you've got to at least try it and then tell me how much you hate venison. He ate piece after piece, slice after slice of that venison. It was delicious. But my point is, we do the venison, rabbits. We have done squirrels in the past. It's a lot of work for very little food. It's like these walnuts. Hi, baby chicken. You can't really tell because they blend in with the grass, but I'm sitting under a couple of walnut trees. We've got 5 walnut trees in our yard here. Because we have honeybees now that pollinate and they survived this past winter, we've gotten more walnuts this year than any of the 9 years we've lived here. You can like almost roller skate across the yard now because of the walnuts. It's like you're walking on rollers. What's my point? All food sources. We've got the pond. We put hundreds of new catfish in there this year. They're thriving. We've got bass, bluegill. We consume those sometimes, though it's mostly catch and release fun for the kids that come over. Like the kids were fishing at the party this weekend. We've got multiple gardens, wild berries, other forms of nuts. A dome could come down upon us, and because of our knowledge and our lifestyle, we've got a fresh water source, aka the pond that's spring fed. We would survive. We would survive. If we were not able to leave this property for whatever reason, we'd have nothing to worry about. They don't want that. They don't want you being able to live the way we can. And you're like, oh, wait, homesteading? I thought you were homesteaders, but you mentioned grocery store and Costco. Listen, we're not going to deprive ourselves of all modern conveniences. We're just not. You better believe, however, hey, stop that. One of the older ones picking on the little ones. You better believe if we had to go into full self-supportive and self-sustaining mode right now, we could. And I would die of old age before I'd pass on by whatever it was that caused us to have to go like that, okay? My wife, who grew up in the Philippines, who helps me butcher the deer when I dispatch one. I go out and get it. Now I bring it up and hang it up on the rafter in the garage, and she comes out there with me and helps me skin it and butcher it and quarter it up, and then we typically put it in the ref for the night. Then the next day we slice that thing up, package it, and freeze it, and she and I can do a deer in less than an hour. She used to do it with hogs and goats, and she understands where food comes from. So it's about control. Control the food source. Control the food source, you control the population, okay? So are they trying to dispatch a lot of the aged, ill boomers, the people who worked 30 to 40 years, made work their number one priority, ignored their families, ignored their health, and now as a result of that are aged and they are in very poor health because they never exercised. They didn't necessarily eat healthy because they went through the drive-through for lunch and dinner on the way home because work was their god. Had to make that money to make those payments on all that material stuff they had to do. That's just a large part of how that generation operated. Well, now they're a burden on the healthcare system. So is the chemtrails, that's the word I was looking for earlier, is that to diminish the size of the population, get rid of a lot of those folks? Are they doing it through the birds? And are they trying to control those of us who are self-sustaining? Let me tell you another way they do it. This is something that will follow you from childhood until old agehood. It's called peer pressure. I'm going to read for you a short story that I post on our Facebook page, Sick Twisted Humor, sometimes with an image of me standing in front of these birds, my flock. This really happened 6 or 8 weeks ago. This is how they have got the sheep herding the sheep while the wolves sit back and laugh. Okay? It's through peer pressure and guilt shaming. True story. Listen to this. And I don't know why I just stuck my glasses in my pocket because I clearly need them again. It's not long. Bear with me. It's just a page. While at a school event for parents last evening, again, this was written a couple of months ago, I met some seemingly wonderful people. I don't go out and socialize much because I'm usually too busy here on the homestead to do so. So it was really wonderful having the opportunity to rub elbows with other folks. Somehow, the conversation quickly came around to how fast our children are maturing, physically these days. I can't believe my son is already shaving at 13, one mother said. My daughter had her first period at 10, another mother said. It's all the hormones, steroids, and chemicals they put in our food, a father said. He was the only father in the room other than myself. I agree, said another mother adamantly. They're complaining about the hormones and chemicals and steroids they're putting in our food. Pay attention. I can bring y'all some farm fresh eggs and some hormone, steroid, and chemical-free meat, I said, deciding to take part in the situation. Hey, I was just trying to chime in, right? Converse with these other parents. Oh, said the woman who complained about her son shaving at 13. Do you raise backyard chickens for eggs? Well, I said, we've got a sizable piece of property, so it's not really a backyard, but we do raise hens for eggs, and we raise meat chickens too. You see these gray ones up here? Now, I tell you, some of y'all are going to hate me when I tell you this, but it is what it is. Those are called Jersey Giants. They're the largest breed of chickens in the world. Those birds are only 2 months old, and they're already larger than our hens we have that are 10 months old. When they fully mature, which takes about 6 months, the hens will weigh 10 pounds, and the roosters, we got 3 roosters and 4 hens, and we are going to reproduce some of those for meat, yes, and very large eggs. The roosters will weigh 15 pounds. They were like hybrid, like interbred with other animals back in the late 1800s in New Jersey by 2 brothers. That's how they get their name, Jersey Giants. These particular birds are blue, so they're called blue Jersey Giants. You can get blue, black, and white, I believe. So yeah, we raise meat chickens too. Okay, and Dearly knows how to prepare those things. We used to do it in the Philippines when we lived in the jungle during our down and out years. When we lived off of roots, fish the people would give us when we helped carry in the boats in the mornings. Anything we could dig up in the jungle, worms at times, coconut larvae. My mouth's watering thinking about it. Stuff doesn't taste bad. And we would get chickens, native chickens, and Dearly can pluck and defeather those things. And so anyway, continuing. Okay, so I mentioned to the yuppies, we have some hens for eggs, but we also raise chickens for meat. You mean you eat animals that you actually care for? Another of the mothers responded. Well, sure, I said. I mean, that's what we raise them for, eggs and meat. Then we don't have to worry about all the hormones and chemicals and steroids y'all are talking about here this evening. That is so inhumane, said the father who complained about his little angel growing up too fast. I could never kill and eat any living thing I used to talk to and look in the eyes. Well, I said, I can bring y'all some free-range grass-fed venison if you'd like. Venison? Said the mother who complained about her daughter having her first period at 10. By that, do you mean deer meat? Of course, I said. We don't tend to them other than trying not to hit them on the road with our car and truck. We don't talk to them and look them in the eyes, I continued, looking over at the other father in the room, hoping to comfort his feelings. Why, I actually got a young buck this morning, and that morning I'd harvested a 3-point. I doubt all the meat we've put in the freezer is even frozen yet. I don't mind pulling some of it out and bringing it to any of y'all tomorrow if you want some. You are disgusting, one of the other women said, rising from her chair and then leaving the room. I can't believe you shot Bambi, another mother said, just before standing and leaving the room as well, wiping tears from her eyes as she did so. It's a shame our kids have to go to school with yours, the other father said, and then, looking scared as if he realized what he just said and that I might have taken it personally, he quickly stood up and ran out of the room, his chair falling over as he did. Only 2 other parents remained. They shook their heads and gave me a look of shame and stood and left as well. Just about then, the teacher walked in. Where did everyone go, she asked. To the grocery store, I guess, I said, because hell, I didn't know. But we had been talking about food. The end, that's all there is to it. I post that with a picture. It always does well. Our audience on Facebook is typically a little, they're real people. The majority of them, they understand where food comes from. I tell you, there's an agenda and it's been achieved. When you can get neighbors to hate their neighbors because they eat an animal that they cared for in preparation to eat, mind you, and that they looked in the eye, or that they because they harvest wild game in their woods that they own and live on and actually bought and decided to live in for that purpose. I mean, look at this place. Forget the power pole. We're supposed to be off the grid. Just ignore that part. I mean, look at this beautiful... Oh, I was going to say Blue Ridge Mountain tops. That's my house top. But, folks, it's ridiculous. So, are they potentially controlling the population number-wise with spraying stuff from the skies? The birds are picking it up. And once again, now government agencies are wanting to report any sightings that you see of this stuff. I don't know. Took a trip to Florida. Boy, was the spraying heavy down there. A lot of boomers living down there, especially in the winter. Go figure. Met an alleged retired college professor who gave me warning after warning and followed me up the East Coast and then gave me quite an interesting warning in the middle of the woods here not too long ago. Well, it was about 5 months ago. And then those that are left, the rest of the population, and maybe even those that are somewhat healthy because they do yoga and they don't eat gluten, whatever the hell that even is. Well, they've trained them to guilt shame their peers. Man, they've got the sheep controlling the sheep and the few wolves among us who are out there trying to protect the flock. There's an agenda, and they're good at it because they've been doing it for a long time. Folks, you be careful. You watch yourselves out there. You keep your eyes on the sky and the ground all in front of you. As the cigarette-smoking man on the X-Files used to say, trust no one. I'm going to give these guys some fresh water inside their pens and a lot of food, and see you for more next time.